Welcome, math students. This channel is all about helping you to succeed in your math class so you can get a better life. This problem is about correcting a ship's course. It's a trigonometry problem. So a ship sets sail on a course north 45 degrees east from an island to a port on the mainland, which is 150 miles away. It gets into a strong current and it goes off course 90 miles later at position P. That's north 35 degrees east from the island. So we want to find out how far is the ship from the port and what direction will correct the course. Coming right up. The first step in any problem is to understand the problem. So I've got a diagram here. The ship starts here from the island, which I've placed right at the origin here, although that's not necessarily true. That's just to show us north and east. And it wants to go here to its port. And it heads off in this direction right here, which is 150 miles away, but it gets knocked off course and it ends up at point P here. So that's essentially our situation, and we're told a couple of angles that are going to really help us. So when the ship is going along this sets its course and wants to do this direct line to the port, it's going at an angle of north, so this is north, and of course this is east. It's going at an angle of north 45 degrees east. So that's this entire angle here, and that's 45 degrees. But it ends up here at the point P, and it's north 35 degrees east from the island. So now this angle here is 35 degrees. So I want to find this angle here, because that's the angle that is the angle between its path and its intended path, and that's pretty straightforward. The angle between its intended path and its actual path, 45 degrees minus 35 degrees, that's going to equal 10 degrees. So that angle there is 10 degrees, and that's going to enable me to use the law of cosines. And in order to use the law of cosines, I have to know two sides and the angle between them, and I now do. I know the 90-mile side, the 150-mile side, and the angle between them I've just calculated is 10 degrees. We want to find this length right here, D. I'm going to use the law of cosines to do that. So I know D is going to be the square root of 90 squared plus 150 squared minus 2 times 90 times 150, all times the cosine of 10 degrees. Take that whole square root, just all that is a simple application of the law of cosines, and I'm going to round this to the nearest whole mile, so that's 63 miles. So the distance the ship is from the port once it goes off course is 63 miles. It's 63 miles away from port. So to answer our question about course correction, we really want to think through the situation near P. So I've zoomed in, if you like, at the point P, which is shown there in red, and I've placed the north and east compass directions right there. So the black lines are showing me the distances. And I can also use the law of cosines, if I do a little algebra manipulation, to find this entire angle. So what is this angle? Well, I can use the law of cosines and solve for the angle. So in this case, I'm really talking about the angle at the point P, and that's going to be the arc cosine. And here I'm going to have to put in all my values. So I have 90 squared here plus 63 squared minus 150 squared. And in the denominator, of course, it's 2 times 90 times 63. And I've got to calculate all of that. So that's going to give me the arc cosine. And when I calculate that, I'm going to get I'm going to round off to 4 decimal places, so that's 0.9198. I use my calculator at this point and I find out the angle at P is 156.9 degrees, so I'm just going to round that off to 157 degrees. In order to find or to give the directions to make the correction, I'm going to have to find this angle here. So that's the angle that I'm seeking to find. And I know that this whole angle here is 157 degrees, but I need to find all the different parts. If I can find this little part right here, I can subtract that from the 90 degrees that goes between east and north, and I can find my angle. Well, I know when the ship leaves, and when it ends up at P, it's 35 degrees. It's north 35 degrees east. So I've drawn the north-south line in there. And you might notice then that actually this is, if I think about it, if I put in the east-west line here, I'm going to end up with similar triangles. This angle here is 35 degrees as well by similar triangles. And this angle here, of course, is 90 degrees. So now I'm going to be able to find this angle because I know this is 157 degrees total. I just calculated that. Minus 90 degrees, minus 35 degrees. And that's going to give me 32 degrees. And now I can find my angle because the angle between north and south is 90 degrees. So I know north 90 degrees minus 32 degrees. East is the directions I need to give, and that's going to be the same as saying north 58 degrees east. And that's the directions to make the course correction. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you've got some value out of this. I know these trig problems can be challenging, but don't let that stop you succeeding in your math class. I'd like to invite you to subscribe and also to give this video a like. Have a great day.